Hello everybody and welcome to our Tech Tuesday tutorial number 50. Today we show you the basics of the new Google Sites. Now this is another often requested topic and one that I've honestly been waiting on since I know that the new Google Sites is getting more updates regularly, and it will continue to change before it becomes standard and mandatory. Well, I'm tired of waiting, so here goes. The new Google Sites is radically different than the old one. For one, it's stored in your Google Drive now, and you can even create a Google site directly from Google Drive. You can go to Drive and click on the New button, choose More, and choose Google Sites. Now, another way to create a new Google Site is just to go to sites.google.com. And if you don't see the new Google Sites interface, if you see something that looks like the old one, then just choose the new Google Sites link at the bottom left, and that will take you to the new interface. And once you're here, whether you got here from sites.google.com or Drive, you can click on the red plus button at the bottom and create a new Google site. Once your site is created, you'll need to give it a name. So go up to the very top where it says Untitled Site, and you can name the site document. That's what will appear in your Google Drive as a single document. So I'm going to call mine IRC Staff because I'm going to recreate our staff site that's an internal site for our workers. Notice that it also renames the site name here as well as the document name, but it doesn't change the header. The header is the actual page title for that page that you're on. Most sites are more than one page, and so you're going to have multiple page titles, and your site name won't change. For now, I'm just going to call this something generic. That's fine, same as the rest of it, where my other pages are going to have different names. You can change the header type from a regular banner to a larger banner, or just the title that doesn't have any background. I'm going to leave it as banner. You can also change the image by uploading your own or select an image from the gallery. I'll pick something generic here. Notice also that it adjusts the background graphic so that the text stands out enough. You can move this around, by the way, and drag and drop it where you want it to be just by using the little hash marks up there. If you click on the box itself, you get these little knobs which will allow you to adjust the width of it and also adjust the type of text you want to use, what style you want. Note that you cannot modify the font color or the font size or anything else other than these presets. That is one big limitation. But understand that it does kind of keep your site nice and clean that way. And at some point you're happy with that, let's go ahead and start adding some content. So content is done over here on the right hand side under the Insert tab. There are 3 different tabs that will pull up different content on the right hand panel. So the Insert tab features 4 types of content: text boxes, images, embedded code, and uploaded content. You then have other things like dividers and Google Drive content and so on, but these are your big ones. You can get that by using the tab over here or just double clicking on your page and you will get those 4 plus the Google Drive one. So in our example site here, I'd like to create a couple of columns and put in some useful information for my staff. I double click, I choose a text box, and I can then paste some content or type it out. This is stuff from the other site, and it has links to forms and things like that that they need to fill out. Now I'd like for this one to actually be a 2-column layout. So I'm actually going to select this and drag this in a little bit so it takes up less than half. Then I'm going to double click and create a new text box and put it in a separate one here. Notice you can even select text here and choose whether you want it to be a subheading or a heading or whatever else, depending on the style that you like. If you want to change the colors and everything else, you can go over here to Themes, and that's the Themes tab, and choose different styles like Vision or Impression or stuff like that. And then within that, you can have substyles, which allows you to change the colors. Sometimes the colors is just a little bit. In this case, it's only that little bar there, but if I change this to a subheading, you'll notice that that changes slightly as well, and it follows a certain color scheme. You can even set your own color on many of these so that you can kind of have it styled the way you want it to be a little bit. Notice that this was really easy to set up 2 columns. I just drag and drop them where I want them to be. I can even drag and drop them under that, and so that they kind of merge to become one object, or even drag this apart. You have a lot of control over the layout and where things are located. You can even change these different sections, like this is all in one section, it's in one card. I could drag this down, or I could even make this into its own card at the bottom and treat these as 2 separate things. Alright, so I may want to add additional pages to this. So in this case, maybe I'll change the name of this from IRC Staff to Essential Information, and then I'm going to go to Pages and make a new one. So I'll go down here and click New Page, give it a name. This will be IRC Staff Contact, or maybe just IRC Staff, that's fine. And I'll have a page here with all of our information, our contact info for all the different members and everything else. I might also want to include a page for calendars. I might even put my calendar in there as well. So the first thing I want to do is come in here and insert calendar and put in the student work schedule. Of course, expand that, make it a little easier to read. Change that again to weekly view. And then below that, I could put in my calendar. So I'll scroll down here, choose that. You can have it choose to show the title, or you can turn that off and make your own. So I could come in here and put in a text box or something like that. Style that to be a heading or a subheading. Drag this item below it. Right, so you can kind of play around with this pretty easily. The good thing I like about this is that you can just drag and drop things where you want them to be, and in a very short time you can build a site with pretty much all the basic information you might want. And it's easy. You don't need to know HTML, you don't need to have a lot of web design experience or anything else like that. It builds your navigation for you. Let's say you had you wanted to do sub pages for some reason. In that case, you can just go over here to pages and you can drag and drop them. So let's say I want a separate page for my calendar. Then I can take that page, drag it underneath calendars or on top of it, and it becomes a sub page. That then becomes a drop down option there. You can really do a good bit with this, and it's easy to just manipulate things. It's easy to just drag this over here and reorient them. You can even add external links. So let's say I want to link to the IRC homepage. I can say a new link instead of a new page. IRC homepage is its own thing, and then I put in the link there. I can even tell it to open up a new tab, as is standard for external links. And now that becomes its own hyperlink. Again, I can drag and drop the order of these things, make it be last or anything else. Now, eventually you're going to want to publish this site or share it with someone else as a collaborator. So first two things you need to do. First, go up here and click on the Share with Others button that has a plus sign with a person. There are a couple things here you need to know. First, it's in draft form, and if it is in draft, who can see it and who can modify it? This is where you add in other collaborators or people that you want to help you build the site. This is not for people who are going to view it. So you come on here and you can then choose who gets to access this, right? Specific people, anyone at Georgia Southern can see the draft or whatever else. Published, this is a different setting. This is when it is published, who can see it. Click on change and you can choose it to say anyone can see and view the published version. That means it's pretty much public on the web, or anyone at your organization can view it. So it's kind of an internal site, but when it is published, or even whenever it is published, even then, only certain people can see it. This is good if you're setting up a private kind of internal team-based site that even when it is published, you don't want anyone else to be able to see it except those people. Right. So again, if you're inviting people, it's really only to give them editing rights or viewing rights when it's published or something like that. So I may come in here and say, okay, when it's published, only specific people can view it. And then I'm going to add the people's names here to be able to view it when published, and it'll be the IRC staff. Okay, I'm going to cancel for now, but just understand that's how you set up your permissions as to who can see what. Then at some point you're going to publish. Publishing publishes everything that's been changed since the last time you published. So if I go over here and hit publish now, it's going to publish it. It's going to ask me for a URL to put it at. It's going to be located at my university or organization / the name of the site. This is a decent one, that's fine. And then you can even change it here just in case you forgot. Who can see your site whenever you go to publish it. It's the same information that you set up before. You publish it, and then any changes you make after that will not go live on the site until you hit publish again, and then it'll publish the last things you've done. If you want to see the site, you can pull this down and choose View Publish Site. You can even revoke publishing and pull it offline whenever you want. But when you click on View Publish Site, it'll open up a new tab. This is the URL that you want to share with other people. So that's the basics of Google Sites: creating new pages, organizing those pages, inserting content, and so on. In another video, we'll go a little bit more into custom themes and embed code and uploading files, maybe even setting up folders and everything else. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it fairly useful. And if you did, go ahead and hit that like button, and hit that subscribe button, share this with your friends, and leave some comments in the comment box below. We'd love to hear your ideas for Tech Tuesdays, or corrections, criticisms, feedback, anything else like that. Please. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.